Hey guys, welcome to Seller Sessions Daily on a Sunday, and it's Easter Sunday for a lot of people from around the world. Oh, that's got some feedback there. With me today, I've got again Etienne, Liran, Hirschkorn as well. We're talking mindset. This week's subject is business vision. Liran, do you want to just give a little introduction to yourself?
Sure. Liran Hirschkorn, been selling on Amazon since 2014. I've sold, more than 7 figures on the platform with a couple of my own brands that I started. And I have services in terms of PPC agency, and I talk and, do all this
Crazy stuff.
Do all this guru stuff in the Amazon space. But really, I just love connecting with people and sharing what's working and coming on podcasts just like yours, Danny.
Cool. Etienne.
Hello, guys. Hello, Liran. Thanks, Danny, for the second invitation. I'm Etienne. I'm a French guy based in Switzerland now. I'm an Amazon seller, a consultant for pure players, as well as a big legacy brand wanting to escape from the vendor model and get the full potential on the marketplace.
Cool. Right. So, business vision. What does it mean to you guys? Because I know it's kind of a broad term. I think if we go around the room, we're going to explain what our version of business vision is, and then we can start to unpack that. Obviously, be happy to take questions from the feed as well. So, starting with Liran, what does business vision mean to you?
Yep. So I'll bring in 2 concepts that I have in my mind when it comes to business vision. So the first one is a quote from Dwight D. Eisenhower, who said, "In preparing for battle, I've always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable." Okay, so that's number one. And the second concept is that I think the vision of your business, for me, the vision, and I heard this concept, so I didn't make this up, but the vision for my business is like this movie. And I want to know in advance, what is the beginning, middle, and end of the movie? What does the movie look like? How does the movie end? Yeah. But some of the things along the way, the plot may change, but the movie and the vision for the movie is the same. Meaning, if I have a goal of a business, and my business goal is to build a brand that sells $1 million a year on Amazon with a profit of $150,000 a year, that's my vision. And then I kind of work backwards from there. But the plot will change. The products I may launch, to start, may not be the products I may finish with. I may bring in 10 products, and 4 will be the big winners that stay on, and the rest will be maybe mediocre. So the plot along the way, I think, changes, but you still need to have a vision of what does your movie look like. And I think that's in business and in life.
Yep, makes sense. Etienne, what's your take? What is a business vision mean to you?
For me, business vision is at the start of everything, and especially when you already have an established business on e-commerce. Having a clear vision of where you want to go prevents you from getting busy with and getting stuck in the executions, because in this market we talk a lot about tactics, hacks, and executions stuff, but we can really get lost and busy doing stuff that maybe will not move the needle as much as other stuff that will bring us closer to our long-term vision. So building one very clearly makes the job easier to pick the topics to tackle first.
That makes sense. My version of business vision is I see absolute clarity of what it looks like. It's so tangible and crystallized in my head that I know what the end play is before I've even started. I was given an example of Etienne. Let's just take, rather than talk about products, because you've talked about products, let's talk Seller Sessions Live. Right back then, I could see Liran on stage. I could see me presenting to Liran. I could see the crowd. I could see their faces. I could see their expressions. I could see the cameraman. I could see the team working to the side. I can still see the venue now. And I could see every element visualized in my head that was very clear and crystal of what I wanted it to look like and what it felt like. On the day we executed, it was a long stretch to get there, a very, very long stretch to get there. And to be honest, I didn't know whether it was going to flop or it's going to be full or what it's going to do. But I knew what I see in my head of exactly of how I want to do it. And I do that with every business that I'm involved with, whether that's a collaboration, I share half that vision. Does that make sense? If I work half the business, like with Ellis on Databrill. But it's the same with like Cellepole. Like I've got that in my head before I started. I knew exactly what I want, because I can't build a business without knowing and seeing the finish line. Does that make sense? I have to see the end vision. If it's not there, then it's not crystallized and I can't go forward. And then I have to find a way of building those blocks. So I might not know which of the blocks to go in the order, but I know there's blocks to be put there. And my job is to find those blocks, find those people, and find the mechanisms to put those in place.
Yeah, I think what you're describing, Danny, is key. All this visualization thing is super, super powerful if you want to grow your business radically, because most of us are able to make some increments or grow. But if you want to double the size of your business or multiply it by 10%, it's going to be scary. And if you think about it, whatever business size you're having right now, if you think about, okay, tomorrow I'm going to make 10 times this, whoa, this is scary. And more than the fear of failure, the fear of success is sometimes stronger. And if you close your eyes and exactly like you described, you try to imagine all the elements of yourself having succeeded, having reached that goal in a few months, in a few years, it gets this end goal that was crazy, scary, or whatever. It makes it very reachable, and you've done already half of the job.
Yeah. Liran, do you visualize the business as well? Or have you ever started a business and you couldn't visualize it and it didn't work out because you didn't fully recognize it?
I've definitely, in my business career, business life, I've been self-employed since 2010. I've definitely learned the importance of visualizing and having a business vision. And, you know, starting out in business, I didn't know about a business vision. I didn't know that you should really think with the end in mind, with your exit plan, and, you know, starting the business with the end in mind. But over the last few years, and probably more so in the last couple of years, I've learned about how important it is to start with the end in mind. I think so many of us, when we start, all we want to do is our immediate goal is like, I just want to make some money. I want to develop cash flow. I want to have some profitability so I can see if I have the confidence and if this thing that I'm starting to do is viable, right? And I think when I started Amazon, for me, that was the game. The game was, when I started my online insurance business, the thing was like, can I do this? Can I make this happen? Yeah. Now, when I start something, I have the confidence in my abilities to make something happen. And I start more with, okay, what's the vision? What's the plan? A little bit on a higher level. And I think you really want to think about rewarding the effort, not the outcome, right? Like, you know, when you were, and, you know, this concept I use with my daughter, right? I don't care at the end of the day if she's a reading level C or D, but if she's spending time at home on her worksheets, trying and putting the effort in, I want to reward that, right? The end result is not something that, the end outcome is not something I really want to focus on, because I can't control the outcome. I can't control the coronavirus. I can't control the external things that can happen, but I can control the actions I take. What you did with seller sessions was very much, okay, here's the outcome that I want. And then what are the action steps I need to get there? And then, like you said, is it going to fail? Is it going to flop? Is it going to do well? I don't know. But you took the steps, right? And the steps is essentially what made it happen. And so, you know, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right here with the question, Bahim, who says, how to develop a good vision, is, I think, asking yourself good questions. What do I want? What is the ideal version of this? And I think you got to go very detailed. Okay. So, for example, a lot of people will start a business and they say, I want to make $1 million. That's not really what you want. You want to make $1 million. Why? So that you have financial freedom to do what? Pay down your house, live where you want, have certain freedoms, travel with your family, all the things you want to do. I think you want to get crystal clear also in your business, what you wanted to do and why. What are your reasons? Because reasons are what will keep you going, right? Reasons will overcome that willpower. Willpower is, I don't have willpower, right? Willpower only lasts. That's why people eat junk food at the end of the day, because the whole willpower already of the day you fought through is already gone. You can't control it anymore. But if you have reasons on what you want your business to do and why, and you have that vision, that's a lot more powerful than, any willpower. So I think you need to bring all that into the vision of your business.
Yeah, which I didn't crystallize until you've said that. One of the things that crystallizes for me is I have 3 things that I make the decisions based on, and they must go in this order. It's, does it make meaning? Does it make me happy? Does it make money? If it meets all 3 of those criteria, then it has to be in that order. I will say yes. If it doesn't, everything gets a flat no. But what you said there is pretty much what I do without having put into a category. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think, question that I've been asking myself and that I ask myself is, it doesn't make me happy. I think, I think when you're 20 and you're just starting, I think there's periods of your life that you're willing to do certain things, right? When you're 20, you might be willing to grind it out for 2-3 years, saving money, doing something you hate so that you can save money to start something you like, right? And then you get to a certain point in life where you're like, I'm too old to not do something that makes me happy. Life is too short. So, I think that's kind of where I'm at in my life, and so doesn't make me happy is definitely a question that I ask myself repeatedly on the things that I get involved in, because life is too short to do things you hate with people you don't like.
Yeah. And I'm not being funny. You're in a position where you get so many opportunities and you have to say no. So, but it's like, well, how do I say no? I need to have something in place. It gives me the mechanism for the reasons behind saying no or saying yes, or otherwise you're just going to be everywhere, aren't you? And nothing will work for you.
Yep. And, to say frankly, I've made the mistake of saying yes to too many things, and I have a hard time saying no. And I've gotten better at saying no, but definitely a challenge for me, especially because I see myself like somebody who wants to help people, and I have a hard time saying no. And there's probably a lot of people listening that are the same way, but I think sort of having that framework, like you said, having like a few questions that you ask yourself, like one question that I learned to ask myself is this a distraction or an opportunity? And then pulling back from something and asking yourself that allows you to make, I think, better decisions. But I think we're all faced with so many things pulling at us in different directions, whether it's our business and social media and our family and shiny objects and new courses and new ways to make money, especially entrepreneurs, especially, ADD entrepreneurs. I kind of could consider myself in that category, because I think entrepreneurs are built to see opportunity where others don't. But just going after every single opportunity might lead you to not being good at anything.
Yeah. And also the danger is that, it's futile what we have. You might establish a good reputation within your industry and you get lots of opportunity, but next year you might not be flavor of the month, right? And so it's like, did you miss that opportunity? So you have to always look at that as well. It's like you can take too many opportunities, too much off the table and spread yourself too thin, or you can shorten your career by taking the short money instead of the long money. So you constantly have to reevaluate everything that you do. Is it short term? Is it long term? Is it going to benefit? Does it affect my current partners? Will it affect my family life?
Danny, you're speaking to me in a lot of ways, and I'm sure you're speaking from you in a lot of ways. We're both out there like in this space, and probably I'm assuming that like me, you also get a lot of opportunities that come your way, and you have to figure out, what am I going to say yes to? What am I going to say no to? And maybe next year, nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear from me. Like you said, maybe I'm not the flavor of the month next year. And should I capitalize on this now while I can? All those things are sounds like first world problems, right? But
oh, it is first world problem. But the idea is that the whole point of this is his mindset, right? So this conversation is that we're being very brutally open for people to understand, because these are going to be the same things that go through the people listening to now, the people that go on the podcast, where it gets syndicated to, the replay. People are going to listen to this, and they're going to have the similar things. They've still got to make those decisions as well.
And you know, for let's say you're not, you know, a Danny McMillan who gets offers. Well, you're still getting offers. There's new courses coming out every other day that are in your inbox. There's new software tools that are coming out. There's new groups. There's new this. There's new that. And you have to say, what am I paying attention to? You know, I have 300,000 hours of content I can go watch in all the different things that I'm involved in, right? But like, I paid for this course, I paid for this, I paid for that, but like, I actually need to go through it in order for it to pay off for me and actually take the time. And as an entrepreneur, and you know, I think we deal with a lot of this shiny object syndrome, and staying focused can be challenging. But I think when you're conscious and aware of it, and say, hey, what about the last course I bought that I never went through, right? Let me first maybe go back to that one before I buy a new one. You know, I think having awareness of it is important, because it will lead you to make better decisions.
Yeah. I'd like to bring Etienne in here. So let's talk quickly about confidence. There's a thing I used to use, is that you go on a good run and you go on a barren run, right? So let's just say right now, I'm on a hot streak and have done for a couple of years, less, maybe a little bit less, right? But there is a saying I used to have, is that you can't hit a barn door with a banjo, where everything you try goes to shit, basically. You try all different things, and then that affects your confidence. And that's very hard to develop. One, if you haven't got cash flow. Back then, I didn't have cash flow to do so. And the other is, it's hard to develop a vision if you don't have confidence, because you've gone on that down spiral, which you try to get out. Etienne, question to you for that. Would your vision now change, your vision now, being a successful entrepreneur, as opposed to a few years ago? Would your vision now would be different to your vision of yesteryear?
Yeah, my vision is now bigger, and hopefully my vision in the future will still be bigger. But coming back to the last question of how to have a precise vision. Once you have your dream, your wish, I want to be financially independent, I want to work for this cause, I want to whatever. Once it's precise for you, then it's to get there. Because otherwise, if you only have a vision without a plan, it's only a wish, right? And the way I do it is I spend at least 1 hour per week working on this long-term plan, and in my case, my exit strategy. Because in our business, more than half of the value that we can create is usually selling the business one day. So it might not be an option for you, but if it is, then you better try to understand the psychology of your potential buyer. The same way as you build products, when you launch products on Amazon, you need to think about this for your company as well. Is it a company that someone will want to buy? And what are the key characteristics that makes a company very high price, right? And I spend at least one hour per week interviewing brokers, potential buyers, or sellers that already did exits, and trying to build my ideal list of features for my own company, so that I can sell it for the highest price. Yeah,
makes sense. Liran, confidence.
This brings real confidence in your plan, because then you have a list of items that you can tick. Okay, this I know I have it, and then if I don't have it right now, where can I work on this in my roadmap, so that in 3 months from now, I'm sure that I'm going to have those patterns that the buyer will value, or that I'll be diversified, or whatever.
Yeah, makes sense. So, same to you, confidence.
Yeah. So couple of concepts as far as confidence. So confidence is really important. Tony Robbins, I'm wearing his hat here on the video. Tony Robbins says that success is 80% psychology and 20% skill set, right? So if your psychology is off, if you don't have the confidence that you can do it in your abilities, then it's a losing battle, right? It's a losing battle. People who run marathons, they say it's It's all mental. If you can run 5 miles, you can run 20 miles. It's mental. And so I think confidence is really important. I don't think confidence is about this like fake thing of pumping yourself up. I think confidence is, I'm not confident that when I start a business or when I start something, I'm not confident that, it's going to be $1 million business or it's going to be a $10 million business. I'm confident in my ability to handle the challenges that come along the way. That's what I'm confident. I'm confident in my ability to deal with the external forces, right? If you're somebody that's been working on your mindset, for example, man, you should consider yourself lucky right now because you've been training for this crisis
for a long time.
You've been training for this, right? For a long time. You've been in the boxing ring mentally training every single day for this crisis. And if you haven't trained mentally, we'll start, because do you think this is going to be the only crisis in the next decade? Probably not. We've had many other crises before. This one is just different. So I think confidence, in order to get confidence, you need to develop some things. So you need competence to develop confidence. So if you are working on your mindset, if you are working on your business, if you are constantly learning, reading, spending time with other people who push you up, then you develop competence, and competence builds confidence. And so my confidence is my ability to handle shit.
Yeah.
And I want to joke a little bit about it. For me, the easiest way to build confidence is something that you cannot decide. You need to build confidence, etc., or you need to have external stimulus, so that's the inner confidence. But one of the funny tricks I often do is comparing myself with the dumbest in the place, right? Because there's more than, I don't remember the number, so 20,000 or 25,000 entrepreneurs like us make more than $1 million on Amazon itself. Not all of them are Nobel Prize. So look online, look the business, and find some people that apparently are doing a big business, but they are not the best at their skills. And then it gives you a lot of confidence to say, if he can do it, I probably can do it as well.
Yeah. And Etienne, I heard recently somebody said that their philosophy is, if one can do it, many can do it, and I can do it.
Yeah.
Right? And again, you get confidence. I
agree.
And maybe it was, I want to go off on a small tangent here. I was listening to a podcast recently by Frank Kern. I've been following Frank Kern back since like 2008 when I went to like Mass Control 2.0 in San Diego back in the days of internet marketing. And one of the things that he said was that at the time he was selling like information, and he was selling these like, $47 courses. And then he saw a guy he knew in the space was doing like a $10,000 seminar. And he was like, $10,000 seminar? It opened his eyes, like such a thing exists, right? And a bigger vision was open for him. And then he said he went out and did the same thing and launched a $10,000 webinar with and sold out 39 spots in 10 minutes, $390,000 in this $10,000 seminar. The point is that if you spend time around people that are thinking big, it can create a bigger vision for you of what's possible. And sometimes our vision ourselves of what we think is possible is much bigger than we think. But when you're spending time with other people, that's why masterminds are so important, and going to events and talking to other people and networking with the right people is so important, because you here thinking my $1 million business is such hot shit, and then you're like, and then there's a guy sitting next to you at a mastermind, they've done 20 million. You're like, wow, that's amazing. That's it's not to put yourself down, it's to put in your mind what's possible.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're talking about
mastermind and accountability partner as well. This is the easiest way to stick to your plan and work like a horse on your roadmap to go fast on your dreams, is to have someone that challenges you every week. I think we may have mentioned it last week, and that understands your business and really pushes you on the key elements that will drive your business.
And one thing I want to jump in and add, hard to get a word in here, right, Dan? One thing I want to jump in and add is this concept I heard. I follow Brendan Bouchard. I'm in his coaching program. And one of the things that he has been saying a lot over the last 6 months, and especially now, is to adopt the role model mindset. Okay, so we're talking about Mindset Sunday and the role model mindset. And if you follow my stories on social media, I post a lot almost every day when I exercise. I post my exercise that I do it, right? But because I'm taking the role model mindset, I'm holding myself accountable to a higher standard, okay, of being a role model to other people. What does that do? It doesn't put me in a position of being better than anyone. It holds me accountable in a public setting that keeps me accountable at a higher standard where I can't hide. And that pushes me to perform at a higher level.
Yeah.
And so anybody can do that. Anybody can hold themselves higher, and you can have a greater business vision. You can, when you take something from your head and you put it down in writing, it becomes physical, it becomes more powerful. When you put it out to the world, to an accountability partner or on your social media, it's even more powerful. And I would challenge you, put out your goals. It is scary because what if you fail, right? That's the biggest reason why people don't go and put out like, hey, I want to sell $10 million of products on Amazon, because what if I fail and I don't make it? But doing that will give you a much better opportunity to actually make it.
Yeah. Are you guys tough on yourself as well? I'm going to give you an example. I want to go back to the thinking big thing. A couple of years ago, like, my health's got a lot better, but I used to get up every day, I had brain fog, and be able to operate about 3 hours a day. I've got another friend in the space. He's super successful. He's like, back then, I think he was doing about 45 million a year, and he's up to about 60, 70 million. And we're good friends and have been for years, but both of us got autoimmune disease. We were sitting down, we're chatting thing, and I said to him, look, how do I get anywhere near your level? And then we're chatting about things, and it dawned on me. And I said to him, look, I've got brain fog. And then he said, yeah, but I've got autoimmune disease. And I said, you know what the problem is? He went, what? I said, I'm making fucking excuses. And from that day on, I stopped making excuses. I sorted my health out, and I'm on the road. I'm not caught him up to where he is at the moment, but do you see what I mean? Sometimes you have to have self-reflect and go, yeah, I can use the brain fog as an example, but this guy is flying and has autoimmune disease, but he still managed to get there. So what do I have left? Excuses.
Yeah. I would say that, yes, I can be hard on myself. And I think there's an element of that being a good thing, because you don't let yourself off the hook.
Yeah.
I think you need to also be kind to yourself, especially during tough times like this. A rule that I make with myself is that if I allow myself to veg out for a day or take off or not exercise or whatever, it's okay. I just don't want to do it 2 days in a row, right? Yeah. I don't want to go down a bad path, right? If you're gonna drink one night or eat really bad food or whatever, okay, allow yourself, but don't do it 2 days in a row, because then you're going to turn it into a bad habit. So I think holding yourself accountable. One concept, that I think another good question to ask yourself is, a lot of us don't think about our mortality, but one day we're not going to be here. And you don't know when that is. It could be tomorrow. It could be in 100 years. But in 100 years, all of us probably won't be here, right? All of us listening to this won't be here in 100 years. So one, I think that gives you perspective. But I think a question to ask yourself is, how do I want to live my life? What if I only have 6 months left, right? What if it's over for me, like in October or November? How do I want to look? How do I want people, and how would I want to look back at how I lived every single day? Did I give it my all? Did I, spend time with my family? Did I work on my business and give it everything I had? Did I, was I mentally sharp? Was I kind to people? Did I reach out to my friends? Like how do you want to look back at your life? And I think asking yourself those questions, when there are days that I don't want to exercise or I don't want to go clean up my emails or whatever, I use questions like that to give me some perspective and to push me to do the things I don't want to do and do it anyway, because I know it makes me mentally tougher to deal with the challenges that come in business.
Can I say some hellos to the audience and stuff?
Yes.
And then we'll get to Etienne. Hello, Jason, Chris, Yelchin, Mark's here, Torsten, Tiffany, welcome back. Salem's here, Dan, Dustin. We've got Peter here. There's John Andrew Kramer's got some questions I'll get to. Biham's here again. Yasin, how you doing? Richard Goldstein, I'll see you on Tuesday, my friend. Wency's here as well. So Tiffany says, life is about how you handle things, as we're going back to earlier on. I think the famous quote is, life is 90% how you react and 10% what happens. And then Andrew's asked, what's the best way to learn to say no? Is that a matter of EXP, whichever that means, or is
experience?
Experience, sorry. Look at me, eh? With no experience. Or is there a book? Is there a book called The One Thing? There's a few up there, isn't there?
There's a book called The One Thing.
Yeah.
I think the best way to say no is just saying, when I say no, it's basically like, hey, I'm really focused on this. Appreciate the opportunity, but I'm really trying to focus, on some other things right now. And I think anybody can understand. Anybody can understand that, and actually, people will respect you a lot for your ability to say no and not jumping on every opportunity that comes your way. Yeah. But it's a balance because sometimes you don't know. Maybe you said no. Maybe you said no to the wrong thing. Maybe you should have said yes. Right? Like you can second guess.
Time will tell. Only time will tell you that answer. Etienne?
It helps to say no a lot by starting to say no more often, even to small things, as long as you get used to it and because people will try to negotiate with you. Oh no, but it's not today, but maybe it's going to be yes tomorrow. No, I'm telling you, it's no forever because it's not on my priority, and I really appreciate that you're valuing me doing that, but I won't be able to do it. But start saying no to small things, and then it's going to be far easier to say no to bigger things that will take more time from you. Yep. And I think coming back to what you were mentioning, Liran, it's actually the main purpose of the calls I'm having every week with my either accountability partners or other sellers is first to get to the positive energy of celebrating the wins. We always start the calls by what's your biggest success of the last week. And usually we have a list of 3. You need to have 3 success. Sometimes it's super easy to find 3 points to mention. Sometimes it's quite hard, but it gives you a real positive energy and abundance mindsets to start the call. And then afterwards, all of what we're talking about is about finding solutions to the challenges that we're having, never finding excuses. And as long as we see the other one mentioning excuses, it's, oh, watch out, you're trying to bullshitting me, or just let's focus on how can we solve the problem.
Cool.
Let me. I want to add one thing on a quote. I just pulled it up because I knew I'd heard of it before. If you want to learn how to say no, Warren Buffett, obviously one of the most successful people in the world, right? One of the wealthiest people in the world, says that the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. So think about that when you want to say no to something, or you feel like your gut says I should say no. Think about that. And I mean, it's a challenge for me. I get messages all the time from people on LinkedIn or whatever, like, hey, I want to connect with you. Like, can we get on a 15-minute call to see how we can help each other? Blah, blah, blah. But like, if that's all I do all day, I'm never going to get anything done. Yeah.
What was the, I'm trying to remember now, the Navel, he doesn't do coffees, does he?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He has a rule. I can't remember how he's protocol for it, but he does explain to people he doesn't take coffee meetings or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't do that. He says no to almost everything. In fact, he put out on his Twitter, Naval, like a year or two ago, like, I'm not doing any podcast, no interviews, like, don't reach out to me. Like, I'm putting out content on Twitter, and that's it. He does a podcast, I guess, when he wants, he puts something out, but and really every ultra super, I'm not talking about, people with like Amazon businesses, like super successful ultra entrepreneurs say no to almost everything.
Do you think it's like, I think that Naval has got an incredible mind. I know we always go back to his podcast, but his mind fascinates me. But he's had to develop and grow that mindset. because it's so powerful. Everything that he says in that 3 hours, I still every week skip through that podcast.
Yeah.
I know it religiously, you know, but I still go for it because he still impresses me. What's in that mind?
Yes. And, you know, he has another podcast called Spearhead, which is a podcast on investments.
Yeah. I've just started listening to that. Yeah.
And he sends out an email weekly, I think, with like the text of it. And it's like 2 or 3 minute episodes. It's really quick. But man, his insight is brilliant. Really, really, really brilliant. Really smart. He calls himself, for those that don't know, you should listen to Naval. There's a podcast. He created this tweet storm called How to Get Rich Without Being Lucky of all these principles, and then took all that and put it into like a 3-hour podcast episode. They were each individual ones, but he started Angel, I think Angel List. Yeah. And he calls himself the Angel Philosopher. So he's like this VC sort of angel investor guru, but also like a philosopher. Really, amazing mind. And his brother, Kamal, has a great book out called How to Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. Kamal Ravinkrat, and he talks about his suicide attempt and how he turned his life around after his business failed. Very, very good book.
Excellent. Other books. Well, a couple of things I want to move because we're getting like halfway through now. I want to go. We've kind of gone around and discussed stuff. I want to put some actionable points in here. So if there are people that are sitting on the call, on the replay, or hear back later at some time, is like, let's just say, and I mean this in a complete respectful way, let's just say they don't have a vision for their business. They've started it and it's there, and they make money out of it, but they haven't applied vision. Let's look at a way of saying you've got an Amazon business that's a little bit dull, boring, you don't know what to do. What can we say to people listening now? How to imply that vision to it to take it up to the next level? Because they may not know about vision until they've discussed or listened to this call. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, Etienne,
you're modelize. Go. Watch people that are bigger than you, more experienced than you, and modelize what they do. And it's gonna fill your vision, make it very clear how you want to build your own story, and then break it down into smaller pieces. But if most things you want to achieve, some other people already did it, so it's quite the easiest way to watch them and then try to replicate what they did.
So my advice to you, a little bit simpler. My advice to you would be take out a pen and paper and ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want out of this business? And then ask yourself another question. Today is April 12th, I think. April 12th. Ask yourself, April 12th, 2021. What do I want this business to do? It's a year from now. Work backwards. What is my vision? My sales are now 500,000 with, a $75,000 profit, let's say. What do I want? What do I want from this business? Do I want to sell this business in a year from now? What do I want in terms of sales and profit? How many new products do I want to launch? Like, ask yourself, what do you want this business to do? And, business is just a vehicle, right? Business is a vehicle to give you the things you want in life. You didn't start a business just to have the business. You started the business to give you stuff that you want in your life, right? Or that you want to give to customers, or right, maybe your business is a passion product that you invented and developed and you want to get it out to the world. But I think the simplest thing for a business vision is take a pen and paper, ask yourself, what do I want out of this business? And then ask yourself, in my ideal scenario, April 12th, 2021, what does my current business look like? And be very detailed. The more detailed and specific you are, the clearer it is. You're essentially, you're directing in terms of like the theory of why this works, is that you're directing your subconscious mind what to do. And just by writing it down and sitting in a room and meditating on it, it's not going to happen. No. But when you do this, and when you write something down, when you make it physical, and when you put it out in the world, and when you create a vision, what it does is you are programming your subconscious mind to take the action steps towards getting closer to that goal. and that is every theory and philosophy about setting goals in the first place, right? Why do any of us set any types of goals? Not just for our business, but why do we have goals for our weight? Why do we have goals for the amount of money we want to make? Why do we have goals for anything, for our kids, for whatever? It's because you have a target of something to go after. And by having that target, you are more likely to take the action steps towards getting to that target. And when you look at that target every single day, if you write down your goals, and this goes back to principles of Think and Grow Rich. Okay, great book to go read right now. When you write down your goals and you look at them on a daily basis, even every few days, it becomes really powerful in your mind of what you're trying to do. And it helps you weed out the noise. It makes it easier to say no. Whoa. Like, no, my vision is like this for my business. If I go over here, I'm getting taken off the path of what my vision is. It's much easier actually when you have a GPS of where you're trying to go, not to veer off the road. And then it becomes easier to say no to the things you should say no to.
Makes sense.
I would just add, share this with everyone you know. Once you have your goal, your number, I want to make this amount of turnover, this amount of profit. Find one number and share it with everyone, your family, your friends, everyone you discuss with, and it's going to make you very committed to it. And people will come back to you after a few months. Hey, are you on track? And you'll enjoy to be able to say, yeah, I'm actually a bit in advance on the plan to reach that.
But by the way,
it's a great energy.
Sorry to interrupt, Danny. I know you're about to say something. What I would say is be careful who you share this with, because there are going to be some people that are the naysayers, right? Yeah. How many of us have started businesses before, wanted to start out things, and our family or really good friends are the first ones to say, can't do that shit. Or are you crazy? Or what? You're going to leave your safe, secure job where you have a steady paycheck to go do this? So be careful. Share this with people that bring you up.
Yeah.
Share with people that bring you up, not people that are going to take you, that are going to try to crush your hopes and dreams.
And look at on Facebook or even LinkedIn, right? When someone gets a new job, it's like, well, hey, it's crazy. Yes. When you start a new business, it's like tumbleweeds.
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Unbelievable. What I was going to say is now we kind of covered some elements there on what you should do to work on your existing business. What about if you've got a business that you fucking hate it and it's just driving you mad and you're sitting there, you're listening to this and thinking, oh, I can't stand this. How do they make the shift from doing something meaningful? Because if they're doing something meaningful, that's where all of your energy comes from. That's what gets you up in the morning. That's what gets you excited. That's where you add on to the vision. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How do we transfer what they're doing now over 6 to 8 months or wherever it is? How do they veer that business into new realms?
I listen to a lot of Gary V.
Yeah.
And if I were Gary V answering the question, I think what Gary V tells you is that you need to decide, right? Like you need to decide if you're going to be willing to just take money over your happiness. And if you're not, and if your happiness is more important to you, then you need to form a way to transition out of your current situation. I mean, staying stuck in it and complaining about it is not going to be the way to get out of it. Maybe there's an opportunity to sell the business. Maybe you can outsource somebody else to run the business and still make money off the business and start something else. When I had my insurance business, which I liked, by the way, I started Amazon as a side hustle, but I really, really liked Amazon. And so what I did was I had a buddy in the business that I met through the business, and I outsourced all my leads to them. And then we split all the commissions 50-50. He got my leads that were generated from my website and the SEO work that I'd done and videos and all that. You can still find them on YouTube.
Are they embarrassing or they're right?
They're a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
And you can see me a little fatter with glasses, but hustling back in 2010 and 11, making YouTube videos. Yeah. But I outsourced the business, and I found a way, and it wasn't that I hated it, but I found a way to transition into something else that I enjoyed more and I saw bigger potential to. So it goes back into asking yourself, what are the things that I can do to put myself in a better situation? And maybe you have to keep doing that grind from 9 to 5 every day and work on your side hustle from 7 to 9 until you bring up your side hustle to make it better than your daily grind so that you can get out of what you're doing. But you got to formulate a plan. Yeah. Complaining and being miserable is definitely not the answer.
Yeah. I don't think anyone
Etienne, there's a wheel. There's a wheel where there's things that are needed in the world. There's a market for this. Things where you're good at and things where you really enjoy doing them, right? And having the three together is of course what you want to target. And especially the things you enjoy is sometimes you experience working on something and then you get these flow states where you don't know what time it is, but you've been doing that for hours and you're like under hypnosis. This is the things you want to continue doing.
The other thing as well is that with all this stuff we're talking about is really good, but you have to find your thing. Like for me, I know that when things changed in my life from 2010 to 2015 was the 31st of March 2015 because I discovered Amazon FBA. From that day, it's been a roll. I remember the date in my head because I was bouncing around from one thing to another to finding my thing. And unless you've got your thing, I think that's going to be difficult to have this business visualization and all the other bits that come with it, because you've got to find that one thing to start with and then build the foundation off of that. Would you say, like when you was doing insurance, you said you enjoyed it and then Amazon was like the new thing for you and you had a side hustle. Now, insurance doesn't sound exciting to me, but it may have been exciting to you.
Right.
So what got you excited about insurance, and then where did the transition take place from insurance to Amazon for you?
What got me excited about insurance was prior to starting my insurance business, I was an insurance agent for Mass Mutual. Yeah. But internet marketing was like, I was part of a network marketing company that I became the #1 enroller of people in my downline 2008. And I did it all through internet and learning internet marketing. And so I had this little hobby of trying everything: affiliate marketing, flipping domain names, right? I fell in love with like the opportunity of making money on the internet as a side hustle, and a bunch of stuff failed. And this company that I became the #1 enroller, by the way, eventually went bust because they weren't well capitalized. But I'd quit my job as a bank manager at the time and did this full-time traveling the country with David Wolf. Some of you may know, with this, and Jim Quick. Some of you may know, doing this thing. But I kind of learned internet marketing. And so I was an insurance agent for Mass Mutual. And basically the way to get clients was to go network and meet people. And it was a grind because you basically had to chase people. And so I thought, what if people can come to me? And then I went online and I found this site, insurance-forums.net. And I saw all these agents there that were talking about how they're building websites, they're independent agents. And what got me excited was the opportunity to build a business where people come to me. And then I specialized in high-risk life insurance. And so I wrote articles about, life insurance with multiple sclerosis. And I got SEO traffic, and that's how I built it. But what I got excited about was the opportunity to serve people without chasing people at Rotary meetings and networking events, and like really the grind of what a lot of salespeople have to deal with, but doing it on the internet. And so that got me really excited. And what got me excited with the business itself was when I got to help people who were declined somewhere else or whatever, and I was able to go through a process and get them life insurance and make a change. A lot of people needed it for buying a business or final expense insurance for their parents or whatever. And I got to help a lot of people. And I think for me, one of the greatest joys I get are interacting with people. And so it wasn't really about like, it was a combination of the marketing to drive sales that got me excited. Like doing YouTube videos, you can find them from 2010. My website still exists. I sold them. And then the opportunity to like interact with people. And, I still get calls on my cell phone once a month or two from past clients who want to buy insurance again. So for me, that was the passion. It was the marketing. It was about the ability to, create something from nothing.
So the angle for you is marketing, right? Because everything I've built from 2010 has been somehow related to a component of PPC. So AdWords, I built businesses from landing pages. I got into Amazon because our crap sponsored ads was. Do you know what I mean? Back then, it was like Fisher Price. It's still like Fisher Price now.
Yeah.
You know, Seller Sessions, the podcast originally started out was just technical marketing. Then Seller Sessions Live is all about marketing. So when you add everything up, the agency with Ellis, everything I've built for some bizarre reason all relates to PPC indirectly or directly. Whereas like what you said, your component there was marketing.
Marketing, right. Yeah. Marketing. The ability, I mean, I think my whole life I've been a salesperson, but I've never been like a hard salesperson, right? I've always been a consultative salesperson. I started my career as a financial advisor, which is essentially selling people investments, right? And selling people on the idea of a particular investment for the best place for their money. So for me, the interaction with people, but the insurance, but also the ability to market and have my offers show up in front of people, and the creativity that comes with it. And, you know, same goes with Amazon PPC and with, right, it's marketing. It's about traffic and conversions, right? And that's kind of been for me what I've really enjoyed doing. So insurance is super freaking boring topic, you know, like, you know, very boring, very dry topic. If you wanna be committed, go study for the life and health insurance exam. You know, super dry like material. Yeah. But for me, it wasn't really about. It was about the marketing aspect and about helping people.
Well, you say that's dry. I had a French polishing company that polishes boardroom tables and strip and refinish handrails and stuff like that, which is completely bizarre. I didn't do the work myself, but like you said about you take something that's old school, archaic industry, boring, but the PPC element is what built those businesses.
Right.
You know, I had a resin driveway firm with someone else as well. Used to take inbound inquiries for that, but it was all PPC driven. Does that make sense? And like what you said, I'm not a good salesman. I don't like push it. I don't like people selling to me. No, don't pitch me, bro. I can't stand it. But I like the fact that if you can build a mechanism to get an inbound inquiry, and then you can just have a normal conversation with someone because the interest is already developed. But I take my hats off. Anyone who can pick a phone up and cold call, you've got my respect, but I can't do it.
I started my career like that, learning from two financial advisors as an intern in college, and they would say you're dialing for dollars. We would call up bank customers to bring them in to talk about investment. Yeah. But I agree with you that driving inbound by offering value, you're already creating trust, right? Yeah. So if I had an article about life insurance with multiple sclerosis and what the process was like and what, you know, kind of ratings you might get and what your pricing would look like and blah, 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 and who's, you know, what's possible, then that content was already added value. Or if I created a YouTube video to talk about something, I already created a relationship with that person who then contacted me, who already felt like they kind of knew me in a way, right?
Exactly.
You know, that's what we're trying to do with Amazon. We're trying to create listings and copy and images and social proof with reviews to give the customer the experience that they trust this product, right? It's the same thing. And especially if you're doing any off Amazon marketing with content or social media, it's all about creating a relationship. And so I think those, you know, I don't know how we got to this, but I think
what we're trying to do is discovering what is your one thing.
What you're passionate.
What are you passionate about? Are you ready? Because like, it's okay having business vision, but if you haven't found your thing, let's just say you're on this call, you stumbled upon Amazon, you don't like what you're doing, but you're not really got to where you're meant to be. It's hard to apply business vision. So you need the foundation first is why we got here.
Yes. And, you know, I don't really believe in this thing like motivation. Like you're not motivated because you're not passionate, right? If you find something that you're going to be passionate about, you'll be super motivated to do it. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, again, I've been watching some of these, Gary Vee's been doing these daily lives, you know, at 9 a.m. And this guy was asking him like, I really want to do this, but like, I can't find myself picking myself up and doing it. And he's like, you don't really want to do it. Because if you really wanted to do it, if you really were passionate about it, you get off your ass and you do it. And so I think, like you said, finding the angle that you're passionate about, you know, I think it can't, and, you know, and I think with Amazon, with the business that we're in, there's so many different angles you could be passionate about. You could be not passionate about the marketing side, but you could be super passionate about maybe a unique product you want to bring to the marketplace, and that will drive your passion to want to market it. If you have a unique thing that can help tons of people, and you're passionate about that, well, that can drive everything else for you to
it's the same on my Amazon business. I hate logistics. Either someone else does it, or the other part of it is I've moved everything to the UK to do it there because I can't stand logistics. I just can't stand it. I can't even put it into words.
And I'm the same way. Like I'm not operations, you know. I don't like logistics either. I like for me the fun is in the marketing.
The
creating, the marketing, the differentiation of products, the unique angles, the copy and psychology of
the buyer.
Of turning words into something that sells people on a concept or idea. For me, that's exciting because I don't know, that's just the fun part of creating something. It's not exciting for me to look at spreadsheets.
No, Etienne, let's bring you in. We've been
after 10 years of doing marketing in big corporations in the beauty sector, I was actually working for an insurance startup comparing insurance policy on mobile. And I think what made me join was the mission of this company to help the insurance clients and not the insurance brokers, because in this business mostly all the services, all the industry is helping the sellers, not helping the end clients. And so that's actually the mission of the brand that made me join. As before that, when I was working in the cosmetic sector, especially for male brands, I was with the mission of helping men discover their own identity. So I think what is the biggest driver for me is to embrace the mission of what I'm doing. And the mission is about solving a problem big enough so that people really are dying without your products or without your solution.
Excellent. I think we're getting up to the hour mark. What should we wrap on here? Give us some
I lost you guys.
Yeah, he's back there.
It's not frozen.
We lost you for a moment, and I think you're coming back. Do you want to give us some takeaways? We'll start with Etienne's videos.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Liran, would you want to give us 3 takeaways from you?
So my takeaway is you want to have a business vision. 1. If you don't have one, that's okay. Take out a pen and paper, write down where you want to be in your business 1 year from now in all areas. I would say do this for your life, because to me, business and life are very much entwined, especially for us small business people, right? People who have businesses under 50 million, under 10 million, whatever it is. Your business is supposed to fuel your life. So like, what do you want out of your life, and how do you intertwine your business? If you want to, there are people that want to, be the digital nomad, right? And we'll set up your business that allows you to work from anywhere, right? And you're not going to have an office and a team there probably, if that's what you want for your business. So put a vision out for every area of your life of where you want to be. Where do you want to be in your business? Where you want to be in your health, your time, your relationships, your finances, your health, your emotions and meaning, all these areas. I have 1 year vision goals for these. So I think the biggest takeaway is having a business vision is really important. Writing things down is really important. Having accountability is really important, and saying no to everything else. This is, I'll show this. This is something I'm filling out this month. It's a tracking sheet, okay? Where every day for the month of April, I'm putting one thing I'm doing for my wellness, my business, and then my other bucket is family and friends. One thing I'm doing. So I'm holding myself accountable because I don't want to go any day without filling out the boxes. And sometimes it's that easy to get you to take action on something. So I think and setting up your environment to be able to do these kind of things. I took in January, at the end of December, I took my Peloton bike from my basement, which I hadn't used in 2 years, and brought it up to my bedroom. Now I'm using it 5 times a week at least. Why? I changed my environment. So think about how to change your environment, how to hold yourself accountable, how to write things down and have a business vision, and how to say no to everything else that gets in the way of those things. And you might have another bucket, wellness, business, family, and friends, and maybe another bucket that's like everything else. Maybe other stuff that's important to you, charity, whatever it is, right? So takeaway.
Excellent. There's a lot there. Etienne, what's your takeaways?
So I think the biggest question is maybe not what do you do, but who do you serve?
Yeah.
3 takeaways: have a brand mission. Focus on your core customers, the really core ones that will be addicted to your products and to your brand. And third, serve them, give them love, and explore whatever needs they have. And then build your own business around those people. Those people will be your biggest advocates in the future.
Yeah, I'm going to use a Steve Jobs quote. He says, if you make meaning, you will make money. I live by that. Always go with your gut, work with people that you like, and don't settle for second best. Always wait for that thing to come along. Search for it, and sometimes it's going to be a bit too far away. But when you found it and it lands, you know. I've got a little shiver down my spine now. You know when it comes. My landing point was 31st of March 2015. I knew from that day that was my mission, and that's where I am today. I'm not where my friend is at 80 million, but I am where I am, and I'm very happy. And I think if you can get happiness in there, you can find your thing. Your life is blessed, and that's it.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that to add to that, I think right now, for me, the silver lining in what's going on in the world right now is that I think it's giving a whole new generation of people what to really be thankful for and grateful for. You know, we in the US, we all have, I think, grandparents or people that are older that went through the 1930s depression. And, you know, your grandmother maybe would say, hey, finish all the food on your plate. We don't throw out food, right? And I think we've had some really, really good times. And maybe the spirit of time is to give you more perspective of what to be thankful for. Maybe now maybe I am finishing all the food on my plate. Maybe I am willing to eat that leftover that I wasn't willing to eat 2 months ago. But now I'm actually like appreciative that I have food in the house, that I don't need to go out and buy more food, that I'm a little bit more thankful for the small things in life. So this is a really good time to actually ask yourself, what do I really want? And kind of think about and design the life that you want
deserve.
to live. Yes, that you deserve and that you want to live, and be thankful, you know, be fulfilled by, you know, buying the fancy car is only going to make you happy for like a week, right? What are the things that are really going to fulfill you? Write those things down, and then write how you're going to use business to give you that kind of stuff that's really going to fulfill you. And this is, I think there's never been a better time but now to, you know, if you have your health and you're safe, you know, people say I'm stuck at home. Well, no, you're not stuck at home. You're safe at home, right? Change your perspective and the meaning that you're giving this time. And I think you can get a lot out of it.
Definitely. I'm going to read through some of the shows we've got on this week. So as of tomorrow, we've got product development with Kian Gulzari. Tuesday the 14th, we've got patents and legal solutions around your products. On Wednesday the 15th is Roundup Wednesday. What's happening on Amazon this week? I think Liran should be returning there. Then Thursday, we're going to do a special edition on Shopify off Amazon at scale. Friday the 17th, leveraging cash flow with Kevin King. Saturday, Women of Amazon return part 5. And then Sunday, mindset, we're going to work on mental health, which I think is a pertinent thing to discuss. So I'd love to invite you guys back to discuss this next Sunday. Okay, so before we go, Liran, how can people reach you?
I'm on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. It's probably the best way to reach me.
Etienne.
Same here. Follow me on Facebook, and don't hesitate to send me a message as well.
Excellent, guys. Just want to say a big thank you. Jason said, great insight, guys. Thanks. Need Mo Fishing says, great shows over the past week. Solid work. Tiffany says, you have a lot of naysayers and also people are jealous. You are brave enough to do what they won't, which is true. Celeste has kindly posted Naval's Twitter link there, Naval. It is a must. You're at home, just sit there, devour that, and listen over and over again. It will make your life a lot better. Jason says, yes, Naval podcast on repeat every week. It's so good. Thanks for the recommendation. Tiffany said, that is a phenomenal book. And I think she was talking about The One Thing because we're going back earlier on. Jason said, love starting my Sundays, learning and absorbing from you guys. We love you guys joining as well. What up, Danny and Liran? Lenny, I hope you're staying out of trouble. You was in a lot of trouble in China. We had to keep you safe. Tiffany, life is all about how you handle things. Andrew says the best way to learn is to say no. We've covered that is the matter of experience. And what the book was the one thing. So yeah, thank you so much to everyone for joining. Thank you to everyone who has shared these videos into the feed for the community. Again, as always, back here tomorrow. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. Lots of love. See you then. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers. Happy Easter.